This is Raising the Bar Realty. Let's talk real estate.
Hello everybody, this is Chandra from RTV Realty, Raising the Bar, and I want to give you some steps, some proven steps that will help you to be able to prepare for a home, okay? I'm going to be walking you through some of these things that I have learned as a real estate agent that will help navigate you through this process, because it is a process, right? So I want to make sure that you know the ins and the outs, because some people, what they do is they say, hey, I want to purchase a house, and then they just go right into thinking that they can just go look at any house that they want. And it's so many more steps before you get to house hunting, right? So the first thing that you want to do when you are preparing or you're thinking about purchasing a house is you want to see where your credit is. Okay. I have talked to so many people and I will say, well, how's your credit? Is your credit good? Is it fair? Is it bad? And they don't know. And that is something that you need to know as a person that's considering purchasing a house. You need to know what your credit score is. There are many ways that you can look for your credit score. They have so many apps out there. I'm not going to name them, but they have so many apps out there now that you can actually look and see what your credit score is. The second thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you have income, right? Stable income, employment status. Now, for some, that's going to mean you are a W-2 employee. For some, you may be self-employed, but whatever that is, you need to have good records, right? To show that, look, I have been steadily employed at this particular employment for at least 2 years, or I have been self-employed for at least 2 years. Lenders look at that immediately because it shows credibility. It shows accountability. So you want to make sure that you have steady employment. Number 3, the next thing you want to be considerate of is your debt to income ratio. What is debt to income? So how much money of your income is going towards debt? Lenders tend to want to stay around 43%. Some can go to 45%. Some can even go up to 55%. But you want to make sure that your debt is as less as possible, because that's always a good sign for lenders. So the next thing, number 4, that you need to be mindful of is your down payment amount. So you could be putting down anywhere from 3.5% all the way up to 20%, okay? Depending on if you have an FHA loan or a conventional loan. Your lender will pick out the loan that is special for you, that is the best for you, and then with that, they will let you know approximately an estimate of how much you will put down at closing. Now, when you see these advertisements that say no money down, you don't have to put any money down, be kind of aware of that, because there is going to be some money that you have to put down. Now, what you can do is you can utilize a down payment assistance program, and they can pay for the down payment costs and your closing costs. But there will be a down payment, and you need to make sure that you are mindful of that. Next step, number 5, is getting pre-approved. Okay, so what happens with that is after the income to debt ratio is factored in, your credit is looking good, your income is steady, the lender will take some initial paperwork from you, some documents from you, and they will determine how much you can get pre-approved for. So basically, with those documents, they say, okay, now you can be approved for $400,000 or $450,000 or $700,000 or whatever the amount is. And once you get that letter, then we can take that letter and start house hunting. So the number 6 step, which is normally a number 1 step or number 2 step, is getting in contact with the realtor. Now, I have no problem with that, because even when I first purchased my home, I didn't go straight to a lender because I didn't know what to do. I went straight to a real estate agent. But you probably will already have the realtor that you are wanting to work with in mind way before you turn in any documents to the lender, way before you see what your pre-approval amount is, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine. But you want to work with a realtor that is going to have your back, that's going to roll up their sleeves, get down dirty, make sure that they are, have a fiduciary duty to you to get the house that that you really want. And I always tell people, sometimes, not all the time, because sometimes people are able to qualify for the amount that they want. But remember, when this is your first home, right? It's a big step in your life. You're making a grand purchase. And even if it's not your forever home, right? It can be your starter home. I have sold a lot of first-time homes to clients, and they fall in love with them because really it's about ownership. It's about it being yours. So 5 to 7 years down the line, you may sell it and then move into your forever home, or move into another home before you move into your forever home. But don't think that this is the only home that you will get, because statistics show that it probably isn't going to be. So number 7, you looked at a home, you was like, Chandra, I gotta have this home. Okay, so then what do we do next? Now we make an offer. We make an offer to the seller through the seller's agent to see if we can secure that home. If we can secure that home and go into contract, let's do it, right? Because that's the home that you want. But that's going to be the next step. And you may look at, I have taken clients to look at 20, 30 homes sometimes before they say, this is the one. I never force a client to say, you better get this home, right? Because I know that they have to live with this. So I want them to be as satisfied. I want them to be as happy. I want them to have joy in the home. I want them to have great memories. So I really take my time in this process, because it is a very important process in the steps of buying a home. Okay, so number 8, you have already, house hunted. You've put in the offer. We're in contract. Number 8 step is getting your inspections and your appraisals. Okay, so what do I mean by inspections? You need to get a home inspection. Do not try to not get it, because it will save you so many headaches and problems down the line with inspections. As a matter of fact, some loans and lenders, most of them, they require you to get a home inspection, and you also have to get an appraisal. If the house is being sold for $450,000, but it comes back at only $400,000, then we got a $50,000 difference that we got to work out. So those are the next steps, is getting your inspections. Sometimes it'll be a termite inspection if you have like VA loans and things like that. But you always want to make sure that you do your due diligence in getting your home inspections, and of course you have to have an appraisal. Okay, y'all, I think we're on number 9. So the next step, we got the home inspection, we got the appraisal. When that home inspection comes back, if it comes back to where you need repairs done for the home, okay, we take that information to the seller, seller's agent, so on and so forth, and we say, look, we need for these repairs to be done. Sometimes the seller will say, yes, no problem, I'll get it done. They'll get in, a certified professional to get them taken care of, get those repairs done. Or sometimes they will say, look, I really don't want to do the repairs, but I will give you a seller concession. So what is a seller concession? It's monies that they will put toward or give you at closing to suffice for the repairs in lieu of the repairs that should have been done. So either way it goes, you can, opt in to have them do the repairs, or they can do seller concessions. But that is step number 9. All right, y'all, we at number 10. 10 is after the repairs are made, we're basically about to wrap this up. We're almost at the end. We're getting to a COE, close of escrow. You want to do a final walkthrough. Why? Because anything that they stated in the contract that was going to stay, you want to make sure it's still there. So if they have a brand new stainless steel LG light up LED refrigerator that they stated is going to stay with the property, we need to make sure that when we walk in there, it's still there. So number 10 is going to be your final walkthrough. Take your time, look around, make sure there isn't anything damaged or anything that is, contrary to what you agreed upon. And if everything is good to go, we can go to the next step. We have made it to the finish line. Okay, this is step 11, I think. Okay. This is closing on the home, COE. This is the day that you sign, because you are now a new home owner. And it's such an awesome time because everything was worth it. You know, sometimes I'm not going to sit here and tell you all that purchasing a home is the easiest thing. It requires hard work. It requires perseverance. It requires sometimes years before you even get to the actual home purchasing. It requires you to do your homework and take care of some things. Sometimes you have credit issues. But when you finally get to this place where you are signing your home, and I get to give you this lovely sign that says sold and that you are now a homeowner, it's all worth it. I want to start doing these videos because I want more people. Now, why my alarm going off right when I'm doing a video? I want more people to realize that they can be homeowners, and that, yes, it takes hard work, but with the right realtor and the right people involved, you can become a homeowner. I personally know for myself that it wasn't an overnight process, but I didn't give up because I knew I could do it. It just took a little while for me to obtain that, but I want to start passing on to you what I know, what I now know, and that it is, if you have these steps, you can get it done. Sometimes you may need somebody to hold your hand and walk you through this process. Hey, that's what I'm here for, because I love to see people win. I love to see people accomplish goals. That's just who I am. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye to everybody. Thank y'all for watching this video. I appreciate it. Get in contact with me. Even if you don't have the best of credit, even if, you don't have, things in order, and I can navigate you through this process. Now, for some people, they're going to be able to own a home in the next 3 months, right? 90 days. Some people, it's going to be the next 6 months. Some people, it's going to be the next year. Some people, it really may take 3 to 5 years. But if you're willing to put in the work, I'm willing to be there right there with you. All right, this is Chandra, you all. Take care. Until next time, small steps turn into big steps that turn the key to your new home. God bless.